Now let's talk about mathematical operations on Python. So let's quickly do Control A and clear this out. So Python supports the addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and modulo operators. Okay, so you can add, you can subtract, you can multiply, you can divide, and you can even find the remainder of addition. So Python also allows the addition of two strings, but does not allow the addition of a string and a number or any other data type. So if you have a number, let's say 7, let's print it out onto the screen. Print 7 plus 8. It's going to display 15. Also subtract 7 minus 8 is minus 1. Also divide 7 divided by 8, which is this. So you can also multiply 7 multiplied by 8, which will return 56. I also have this modular operator, which is used to find the remainder of two numbers. Okay, so let's say you have number 1, which is equal to 6, and then number 2, which is equals to what? 2. I'm going to divide number 1 by number 2. So print number 1 divided by number 2. So this is going to give you 3.0. This is going to give you 3.0. However, if you use 7, it is going to return with a 0.5 additional. Now, however, if you wish, you can get the remainder of the division. So whenever you are dividing two numbers, you are going to look at the remainder of the division, which is 1. So what this means is that 7 can divide itself by 2, but it will have remainder 1. So this is why it returns 1. Now if you put 6 over here, it's going to have no remainder. So whenever you use this percent sign, which is called the modulo operator, it returns the remainder of a division. Okay, so let's give a simple example. Let's say you are given 7 oranges to share equally. One, and return the remainder. So you are given 7 oranges to divide equally. Okay. So what's the total number of orange? Let's say the total number of orange, number underscore of orange. Mind you, whenever you are writing a variable name, I'm not expected to separate them. Okay, it's wrong to separate them. You can write them without any of these underscores over here. Just put it like this if you wish, or you use the underscore. Now these 7 oranges, and then you are going to divide it, share equally amongst 2 people. So these are the 2 people, right? Number of people. And the number of people are 2. So how are you going to share this now? We are going to share it. We are going to find how much will remain if we share these numbers. If it's just six numbers, we're going to find how much will share between, how much will remain if we are going to share it equally. So what we will do is we will create another variable called reminder. Okay, and then we put this. Let's delete this. Let's call this number of oranges modulo, and then number of what? Number of people. So this is going to find the remainder, and then we are going to subtract the remainder from the number of oranges. Okay, we're going to subtract the remainder from the number of oranges. So our value will be equals to what? Number of oranges minus the remainder. Now we are going to print out the value divided by the number of people. So this is going to ensure that we have divided the number in equal halves. Okay, we have divided oranges equally. Okay, so let's run our program and see. As you can see, 3.0, it has not returned any reminder. This is because this reminder is a reminder after dividing it. So 7 can be shared into two parts with one reminder. So we don't want it to be returning 3.5. Okay, let's say you are going to give each person one full orange and not half an orange. So we don't want to return 3.5. So instead, we want to return only 3.0. So we want to give everybody one full orange. So what you do is that since it is 7 oranges, you want to remove that extra orange and let it become 6. So you create a variable called reminder. So this reminder takes the number of orange, which is 7, and then it gets the modulo of it. That's, it divides by the number of people and then it gets the reminder. Remember, this operation is used to get a reminder of a division. It's not used to divide, it's used to get the reminder of a division. So if you print the reminder, print reminder, the reminder is what? 1. This is 3, and then the other one is 1. So it returns what? 1. Okay. So the reminder is 1. So now it subtracts. So now this is the reminder which equals to 1. So this operation now is the same thing as 1, because the remainder of this is what? Is 1. So now the value is now equals to the number of oranges minus the remainder, which is 1, which is minus 1. So 7 minus 1 is what? 6. So now the value here is what we are dividing by the number of people, which is 6 divided by 2, which will return what? 3. Okay, so now let's say this is a software you are asked to build. Let's say this is a software you are asked to build. So that means the users can input whatever number of oranges they want here. So let's use the input command. Let's say number of oranges. And this what? Input number of people. And then you run it. So it's going to ask you to insert the number of oranges. So we have, let's say, 6 oranges. And then how many people? Let's say two people. Sorry, I made a mistake. I said this is prompting people to impute a string. So whenever you put this sys is going to be returned as a string. And you cannot add or subtract a string. So remember I said you can add, subtract, divide, the modulo operation and whatever on numbers, but not on strings. You can only add two strings together. Okay, I'm going to explain how you can add two strings together, but for now let me explain this problem now. So for us to solve this problem, we are going to convert this into what? Into an integer. So if you want to convert any data type or any variable into a string or integer, you are going to use what? This str, convert any data into a string. You are going to use int, convert any data into an integer. Then you are going to use what? Float. So basically, if you want to use any kind of data type, let's say, give me one moment, please. Let's hide this first. Let's hide this first. So let's say, let's also hide this input. I want it to prompt us for an input for now. So assuming you have a number, okay, let's also hide all of this and this. You have two numbers, okay, you can perform any operation on these two numbers. So now let's say you have this which is equals to 4. You can return this, the data type which is type, okay, B. And then once you run it, it returns the data type which is class integer. And this integer, you can take it, okay, and you can use it, convert other data types, other data into an integer. Okay. So if you have a string, let's say this is a number, you have another number, let's say B equals to 4, and perform an operation on it, which is what? B plus B, and it will work, which is equals to 8. However, if one of it is a string, it will not work. It will return an error. But you can convert this into an integer. And an integer is a number. You can convert it into an integer or a float. And then you run it. So now we can add the two together. Okay, because you convert. But if you change this into something like, let's say H is not a number, it will still return an error. So you need to return any number. So here you say invalid literal for integer with base 10. Any number that is in the base 10. So you can return, and if you put 4.5, it will still return 8. Sorry. This is a float instead of an integer. So it needs to be an integer. However, if you want it to be a float, you change this here to what? Float. You convert it into a float number. Okay, so this is simply it. So now you can actually put a float data in here and put and make this integer. So let's just run it and see what happens. It returns 8 because an integer is a whole number. Okay, let's just print this integer out. So whenever you are you are converting a float number into an integer, the decimal point is being removed. Okay, so whatever is here is located after the decimal point is being removed, and only the first number is being returned. As you can see, if you print it out, it's only 4. If you print out B. Okay, so if you want decimal places, let's say like you are dealing with currencies or whatever, you can use the float number. So now, with what we know here, how are we going to solve this program? This means that we are going to convert all of this into the appropriate data types. The appropriate data types we actually need. And what is the appropriate data type we need here? Instead of the input data type, we are going to be using the integer data type. So let's convert all of this into the appropriate data types. So for this program to work, I'm going to convert this to the appropriate data type. So this value, let's see. So we are going to be needing a whole number here. Number of oranges has to be a whole number. You cannot have 7.5 oranges. Number of people also has to be a whole number. So for these two data types, we need to convert this input, which is by default. It converts anything that is being inserted by the user into a string. Okay, anything that the user inserts is being converted into a string. So you cannot add string to numbers, divide string to numbers, or apply any kind of mathematical operation on strings. So what we will do is we will wrap it, sorry, we will wrap it in an integer. Sorry, one moment. So whatever is in here will be converted into an integer. So let's do it for this one too. Now let's run our program. So number of oranges is what? Let's say 6. Sorry about that. Let's say 6. Number of people is 3. So you have 2. And the remainder is what? The remainder is 0. And then you have what? 2 oranges per person. Okay. So this 2.0, we don't like this 0.0. How about we convert the value here into an integer too? So that it removes the decimal point. I want it to be a whole number. So let's say 6. Sorry, not here. Come to the terminal here. 6, 2, 3. Now, what if you, instead of putting 6, which is number divisible by 2, what if you input 7? So if you input 7 and then you divide it by 2, it will divide 3 oranges to 2 people and it will hold 1. 3 oranges to 2 people and hold 1. You see that? So this is the remainder 1 and this is the oranges divided to 2 people. So now what if you inserted 6 divided by, you can put any number you want, 400 divided by 37, divide 10 oranges to each person, remainder 30. Wow. So it will divide 10 oranges. So let's try dividing it over here. Let's say print what? 400 divided by 37. 400 divided by 37. Oops, we have to input all of these numbers over here again. Control X. Let's print it here so that it displays first. Let's kill this terminal line here. Okay, so it's still going to prompt us to impute number of oranges because this input command has appeared here first. So let's go ahead and put the number of oranges. Let's say 45. Number of people, let's say 34. So you see this over here is what is 400 divided by 37, which is 10.810 and whatever number you're seeing here. So now 45 divided by 34, print this, which is our value in integer, which is 1. So 45 divide sharing 34 oranges to 45 people. Sorry, sharing 45 oranges to 34 people. You can only share one each and 11 remains. You share one each and 11 remains. Okay, so if you go ahead and decide to share the 11 again, that means some other people will be having 2 while some other people will be lacking oranges. So 400 divided by 37 is 10 point whatever you see here. So let's make our program look a little bit better. It's just showing numbers over here. Let's do what is called string concatenation. So like I said before, let me comment this out. If you want to comment multiple lines of code, you don't have to use the hashtag. You can just use triple quotation marks to comment multiple lines of code, and then you have to close it. So this has been commented out. This has been commented out. Also, if you want to print a string, a multi-line string, you can also use this actually. So this has been commented out.